This screencast is going to go over kind of an introduction to Google Classroom, especially for classrooms that are kindergarten, first, and second grade that might be new to Google Classroom. And we came up with kind of a simple way to really get started. And then as you kind of become familiar with this, you can always add more and learn more. There's lots of different videos, and I know Rochelle has some links in on her technology page that will explain lots of different options you could do with Google Classroom. Students in 3-5 are more, kind of used to this platform. So I'm going to show you a 3-5 example so you can kind of see the difference, but I'll start with K-2. So let me give you a quick overview. On this first page, this is the stream. You can see here we have a choice: stream, classwork, people, grades. We're probably not going to work with grades right away, so we're going to focus on these three. 1, 2, 3. For stream, I really have maybe one or two important things here. So this would be the attendance. How we take attendance will be through Google Form. And that way it's just a few quick questions, but students are asked to, or their parents. We realize for K-2 that parents are going to be very involved with especially something like an attendance form, and then kind of logging in using their student or their child's ID. So we'll show you where to put that in some modifications. But anyway, this would be the Google form that we would use as teachers at the beginning of the next day. We can take attendance from the day prior and see if anyone was absent, and we can enter that right into PowerSchool. When we go into classwork, you can see here I just have one assignment. Now in Google Classroom for 3-5, the teachers typically ask students to return an assignment back, and they're able to do different things with like YouTube videos or maybe a Google Doc. We're going to start real simple, and what this will take the parent probably to, or the student, would be this Google Doc with lessons for week 1. You can click on the links. All student work, for example, writing workshop or math journal, will be turned in when we return back to school. So we know that they're going to, be doing things at home, and they might not be right away, taking a picture and sending it to us or putting on a Google Doc. We might get there. But what they would simply do is click on this form. So this, for example, it's a Google Doc. We're all used to Google Docs. And this is something that really, if a parent had to still work or had multiple children at home, they could print it off, and they have the learning targets for the week. This is going to be a key thing. So what we have here is this would be reading for an entire week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, this example is going to be, don't worry so much about the content I have in here. I'm using this just as an example so you can see big picture. You would be changing it to your content. And what we really thought would be best is if you just plan today that you're looking at like emergency subplans. So you're probably going to go back to like small moments, review a skill, that they need, that they've already been introduced to. Kind of like we write emergency subplans. We don't really know when we're going to need it, but we've got to have something. That's what we're thinking this week 1 would be. So we just want to get something on there. Then if we do have a closure and we're longer than week 1, that's when we would know where we are in all of our units and our math, and we could kind of personalize it a little more. But this template then is something that you can fill out as a PLC. You might even want to like divide and conquer. 2 people might want to work on some reading lessons, and then 2 people might want to work on some writing ideas. And as you can see, the reading, it's, right from Lucy. The YouTube video is like, for this example, is a Frog and Toad video. And then the writing is right from Mesa. I went back and I took some sessions. I think this is an example from grade 5. And then when we go to math, this is a first grade example I put in there from Bridges. So these links, for example, like this link would take the parents or the student to a video. I did a screencast, and I just did one really good screencast. They play it on Monday, but then they have some ideas for things that they could do as almost like math workplaces. They have their student book pages that they'll be required to do and then turn back when we return to school. There might not be a video every day. Then we have another recommendation on Thursday. There's a fraction video. Then it continues the same kind of thing for social studies and science. So we're thinking maybe, plan like one great lesson and they have some options. So, this is like a third grade example. So maybe they want to go on to Foss Web and they want to, I have a quick video here that would show them how to log in and gave a few reminders. I won't go into it now, but I shared it with all PLC facilitators so you can take a look. Okay, so in 3.5, they're using this information to make assignments and to do different things right on Google Classroom. We're thinking for K-2 to get, really used to this idea, you're just going to want to put this template, and you can call it something else for parents, of course. It's a planning template for teachers, but for parents and students, this would be where they would really know what lessons to focus on. And let's go back into our Google Classroom. All right, so if we wanted to go back here to people, this would be where we would add teachers. And we recommend that you add everybody in your PLC because that way you can actually share assignments with people from your grade level and you can kind of see what they're doing, get ideas. And then also with your building principals. And then for the students, you do the same kind of thing. Click on this invite students. And then we are going to have a list of your students and their emails. And we know, especially K1, they're not used to having that. So we're going to send a copy home in this like manila folder that eventually you'll also put some other classroom materials in. And then parents will know what their student login and password is. So I'm just going to add Emily Hubbard. That's one of my students, just so you can kind of see. So it's that easy. Then you just hit invite, and then they would have to accept it. So, all right. So that was a quick little overview. So we've got the main page. You're probably going to put attendance. Maybe if you wanted to just simply type something in and say, share a good thing with us. Then if you just hit post, the students are able to just, type in the class comment box back and forth. Maybe you don't want to add that the first week, maybe the second week. For classwork, if you wanted to add something new, so like for week 2, or maybe you have a list of frequent websites that you recommend students to go to, then to add an assignment, you would do create, assignment, and you would just go through, give it a title, some instructions, and if you wanted to add anything from your Google Drive or a link, a file, or YouTube video, then you can do it there. So that again is the K-2. So 3.5, I'm just going to real quick show you this because you might be interested in seeing it at some other possibilities. And so 3.5 is using that planning document, but then what they're going to do is they're going to actually create, under Classworks, they're going to create these different assignments. So for example, this was on the planning document, and it is a mentor text from writing. So the students are going to listen to that video about the turning points or main events. And then here for writing workshop, this actually takes them to a Google Doc. So they will be filling in their ideas of possible topics, and then they're going to be writing down some turning points from one of their small moment stories, and then they will actually be turning it back into the teacher. So, definitely there's many, many options, but that would be kind of more the next step. So we are here to support you. Please let us know if you need anything. But hopefully that was a nice quick overview of Google Classroom, especially for our K-2 students to get them used to it. Thank you.